This overland adventure is going to take us to the 1.5 million acre Mojave National Preserve in California. Your tour guides are going to be Selvin and Reptile Robbo. Before hitting the dirt, we're going to stop by Peggy Sue's 50s Diner and grab us some breakfast. Built in 1954, just outside the town of Yermo. Before jumping onto Afton Road, we made one other detour to the Liberty Sculpture Park in Yermo, right off of the Interstate 15 freeway. This is a beautiful park where art comes together with liberty and freedom. And please remember, no communist allowed. This sculpture park is a memorial to the casualties of communist regimes, mainly focusing on China and Hong Kong. They have a great piece called The Tank Man, which honors the unknown protester in 1989 in Beijing in Tiananmen Square. One of the pieces in the park, which was critical of China's response to COVID-19, was reportedly destroyed by the Chinese Communist Party arsonist. The statue was rebuilt and renamed CCP Virus 2 in the span of less than a year. This is a magnificent piece that's built out of thousands of pieces of small rebar that are all welded together. They have a great piece that honors Chief Crazy Horse. Our first stop in Afton Canyon is for a little photo op with the magnificent canyon walls in the background. As always, there's cool remnant mining operations to explore. This one was on the side of a steep-ass cliff. Took a little bit of scrambling to get to. We're gonna shoot up this canyon called Spooky Canyon. It's supposed to be a pretty epic little trail that winds its way right through this very narrow, washed out canyon with the canyon walls hundreds of feet high on both sides of you. Even gets dark in certain spots. Pretty cool little section to explore. So we're exploring Spooky Canyon in the Mojave National Preserve. This is one of the nicer canyons I've ever been in. It actually gets pitch black in there, so we're coming back in from the top side. We did it as an out and back, but check out some of this little straight up on both sides, and it just kind of winds back and forth. At one point, like I said, it gets pitch black. They've got some ropes in here to kind of help you up some of the sketchier sections. But man, it's a great canyon to explore if you're ever in the Mojave National Preserve. So I was telling you that they have some ropes in here. So here's one of the ropes, I'll show it to you. Going down a little notch. It would be very difficult if you didn't have a rope. So check it out. I'm gonna get a picture of a video of Sullivan going down. Here's a spooky section. Rope down below us and big massive rock just kind of sitting on top of the sediment. It's pretty concrete light, so I don't think there's a chance of a lot of movement. But you can say just like years and years of floods just bringing sediment down and just layering it on top of each other. There's a big stone. We're kind of getting into the darker part of the canyon where the walls actually come way up above you and kind of lean in so that it basically blocks all the light. Spooky canyon, pretty awesome. This is where you start to lose all light in the canyon. It goes, must be 100 feet, maybe 200 feet up. Like I said, the canyon walls actually come in and overlap, so it makes it pitch black. You actually have to bring a flashlight if you come to explore Spooky Canyon, because it gets dark in here. So I think we must be at the darkest part of the canyon. There's very little light, a little bit of ambient light coming up from the top. But man, the thing's almost pitch black. So you know these canyon walls go way up there and kind of overhang each other multiple times to block out all the light. I know you're just looking at a dark frame, but that's how dark it is. A little bit of ambient light down there. Well, great canyon to explore. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there's this finger that sticks right out over the top of your head. And man, it looks sketchy. But all the dirt has just been washed out around this big, freaking massive stone. Get a shot of it for you. Well, that's it for Spooky Canyon. If you ever find yourself out in the Mojave National Preserve, make sure you get it on your bucket list. Pretty cool. We stumbled upon a little remote cemetery. Looks like some of the stuff's kind of newer. Some of it looks old. Check it out. Pretty cool how the train tracks run through this section of the preserve. 2 or 3 times a day you'll see freight trains coming down the tracks blowing their air horns. There's a cool railroad bridge that goes over the Mojave River, and there's a couple river crossings that can be pretty deep depending on what time of year you're running the canyon. We found a wonderful place to camp the first night at an abandoned mine. Nice flat area on concrete. We were treated to a beautiful sunrise in the morning, and after breakfast, a little exploring of the abandoned mining operation. This was a sizable operation with a lot of fun stuff to explore. bedrock walls, or the rock walls that they built here, are just unbelievable, magnificent, huge. So it's right behind me, and it actually goes on for quite a ways. So check it out. It's very amazing how they were able to, I guess you call it, make it plumb, and that it stayed plumb over how many years it's been here. So see if we can get a shot of how cool this wall is. Natural Preserve, and we made it to the megaphone. It's just cool. Huge megaphone attached to a couple rocks. It's in the background there. We'll hike up there and get a few shots of it. I believe it's on the 3rd segment of the Eastern Mojave Heritage Trail. We'll go out and get a closer look at it. Well, we made the rock scramble up to the megaphone out here in the middle of nowhere. Looks like a non-functioning piece of art that maybe somebody just thought would be cool to stick up here. It's a fairly heavy gauge steel, and it looks goofing around in the Mojave National Preserve and right along the railroad track, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to put some of my Victor Vincente of America Olympic coins on the railroad track and see what happens. So we put a few out, and now it's just waiting to see when a train comes by and what it's going to do to these pretty beefy bronze coins. Well, let's wait for the next train and see what happens. Well, we went, had a bite to eat, little turkey avocado cheese sandwich, and while we were eating, a train had come by. So we're back on the tracks. We're going to try to locate the 3 Victor coins that I had set out an hour or so ago. Let's see what we can find. Probably shouldn't play on the train tracks too long. There's one direction. There's the other direction, and now we're looking for those Victor coins. Oh, hot fudge, holy moly, here's one. Check this bad boy out. Oh, nice. That bronze coin that I set on the train track an hour ago is now this awesome flat piece of bronze. So that's one of the 3. Let's see if we can find any more. Oh, cool beans. Here's the other one. Second one. Nice, shiny. This one's actually got a little bit of the remnant artwork on it. Very cool. Let's see if we can find the 3rd one. Yeah, I don't see anything. Shoot. I'm not sure if it got shot out or maybe stuck to the wheel, but I don't see the 3rd one. But a success, man. 2 nice Victor Vincente of America Olympic coins, squashed flat. For those of you who are thinking about getting out to the Mojave Natural Preserve, most of the roads out here are 2-wheel drive. There is an occasional section where you may need 4-wheel drive. We found this little alternate route that definitely was steep and took four-wheel drive to get through it. Out in the middle of nowhere, and just keep my eyes open and noticed some look like Indian petroglyphs on this rock over my left-hand shoulder. I'll take a little hike up there and see what I can find, and it looks pretty authentic from here. So it's pretty cool. Found a great place to post up for our second night. Great windmill in the background, beautiful sunset, and a little bit of mine exploring. And now we're gonna head down to Interstate 40 and the Route 66 that parallels some of Highway 40. There's a lot of fun and cool things to do on Route 66. One of them is the Amboy Salt Flats. Beautiful canals full of highly concentrated salt water. Keeps the bacteria and the algae from growing. Great little find. The price of having fun on Route 66. Ouch. We needed a place to have lunch while cruising along Highway 66. And we picked the underpass of the 40 freeway. Hundreds of semis buzzing overhead. Nice shady spot though. And within 100 yards of Interstate 40 is the iconic Route 66, which was the main thoroughfare before the interstates went through. So there it is, Highway 66, and all the glorious trash that the pig people like to throw out of their cars. We were a little leery about eating under the underpass, thought maybe we'd find a dead body or something, but luckily no dead bodies, just a nice shady spot to have a sandwich. We met this character out on Route 66, biking from Oregon to wherever. Had to make a stop at the Baghdad Cafe where they filmed the 1987 quirky comedy drama called Baghdad Cafe. A couple trailers on site that were pretty cool. Little video of one on the inside. They don't sell food, but if you go inside, the owner will take your picture. They do sell shirts and other souvenirs. It's definitely worth a stop. If you find yourself getting thirsty on Route 66, you can always stop at the barn for a beer. Sullivan and I would just like to say thanks for joining us on this little adventure. Now get out there and do some exploring.